Good morning one and all, and once again welcome back to the video. In this video I want to show you how to move large massive tables from Snowflake into Hudi transactional data lake in an efficient and a cost effective way. In this video we are going to create a sample TPCD dataset in Snowflake. After creating that, we are going to be leveraging the copy into command which will load Parquet files into S3 from Snowflake. And after that, we're going to be using EMR serverless, and we're going to be using Hudi Bootstrapping for this. Now, Hudi Bootstrapper allows you to use your existing data files as Hudi data sets, right? So the benefits of this is you don't need to rewrite the entire data set, and you can use the existing Parquet files, okay? Now the use case the use case that we can focus on is mostly archival. So if you have massive events table and you want to offload those events into transactional data lake, this is a very good way to do so. Or if you want to offload some expensive table which are huge, right, and maybe the storage and compute is expensive and you want to offload that into data lake, so those are also some of the scenarios. So now, understanding that, let's get straight into a hands-on lab. All right, so now it's time for some hands-on exercise, right? So let's do a beautiful lab. All right. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to create a stage object, and you will provide your AWS access and secret key over here and the path where you want to move the data. I'm going to move this data on S3 inside a folder called archive data. I have already gone and executed this command on Snowflake because I don't want to expose my AWS credentials. So I've executed that. After that, I will simply fire this command. So this will change the warehouse size to large, as you can see. Now that warehouse is, as you can see over here, large, right? So we have bumped that guy up. Now what we will do is we'll create a sample table over here, and then we'll move some data into that, which means we have some massive data in Snowflake and we want to move it into S3. Okay, so I'm gonna first create this particular table, and then I'm gonna move data into that. So I'm gonna say insert into public dot customer no cluster, select everything from Snowflake sample data tpcd sf10 tcl dot customer. So okay, I think 65 million records should be moved. So select count, if I do star from, while this is executing, of course. Okay, so we were able to move the data. So let me just add a from clause. And if I do count, as you can see, I have that particular data. Okay, now we have a table in Snowflake, and now let's learn how we can move this data into S3 using copy into commands in Snowflake. All right, guys, so the next step is we would want to create a file format. We're going to use Parquet. So I'm going to do that. Okay, cool. And then if you observe over here, copy into my stage. And remember, my stage is over here. This is the path, right? So inside this folder, we are going to create a folder called, let me just go up a little bit. Yeah, inside that we're gonna create a folder called customer no cluster. That's the table name, right? File format is gonna be Parquet. Okay, and then let's go ahead and execute this command. Before that, I want to show you in S3. I don't have any data, right? So I'm gonna now execute this. So this will move all the data from that particular table. If you observe this table, right, customer no cluster into S3, right? So cool. I think that was done. So if I refresh, hey, look, archive data, customer no cluster, and we have all these Parquet files. These are almost about 16 megabytes. So good, we have some data now in S3. So what we have done is basically from Snowflake, we have moved that data into S3, into Parquet files. Now we'll learn how to use the Apache Hudi bootstrapping functionality. So now if you want to build a transactional data, like you'll be like, okay, yeah, you know what, I'll read this and again then write into Parquet files. But think about it, right? If you have a massive Parquet files, right? For example, 750 terabytes or more than that, right? Rewriting again the 750 TB again into Hudi will cost you even more cost, right? That's where you would leverage something called Hudi Bootstrapping. So Hudi Bootstrapping in simple language allows you to use your existing Parquet files as Hudi data lake. So there are two options. One is the metadata only and full records. In metadata only, Hudi uses your existing Parquet files and builds the metadata on the top of it, so you can query the data as a Hudi table. And in full record, of course, you will write that as Hudi, right? So for this one, we will do metadata only. So now let's take a look at that particular example. All right, so now it's the EMR part. I do have an EMR serverless cluster, as you may see. This is called Spark cluster. This is the application ID. Don't worry, I'll delete it after this. And I'm using the very new EMR 7.0.0. Okay. All right, Samil. So, all right. So now the bootstrapping part. Okay. This is the code. Pretty straightforward. Record key. So in your Parquet files, right? What is the primary key that you want to use? So I'm saying I want to use customer ID as my primary key. Precom key meaning whenever you have a group of similar IDs, customer IDs, what Hudi should use to dedupe that in the incoming batch. So I'm saying, hey, you know what, use the customer SK as the dedupe key, right? I want to partition this by birth year. So I'm telling Hudi that. And here is the beautiful part. Where mode, I use the word metadata only, which means I'm saying that, hey, don't rewrite the entire data. I want to use my existing Parquet, just build the metadata for that, okay? The application ID, the ARN, simple as that. And then, yeah, just using run bootstrap, provide the configuration. As you can see, these are the configuration. You can take a look at it. And then we just submit the job to EMR serverless. So let's see if we can run this probably. Let me actually copy this. See if I can pop up terminal, Python 3. And sure enough, we were able to submit the job. And now let's refresh. Here you can see that job is now in the scheduled state. Before that also, I want to make sure I show you this. I do not have any silver folder here, okay? So in my root directory, I have an archived data, which is the data from Snowflake. And here you will see a silver table soon. So I don't have it right now, but let's wait for the job to complete. So right now, it is in the schedule set. So I'm going to pause the video and then resume once the job is complete. All right, my EMR serverless job is finally succeeded. As you may see right here, we go to S3 and here, look at that. We see a beautiful silver folder. Fantastic. I do have my Parquet files over here. These are my, massive data, which we unloaded from Snowflake over here, right? And then the beautiful part is here, you would only see the metadata. This is only the metadata. Hudi has built the metadata for it. So to just quickly, really, to give you a quick glance, these Parquet files contains the Hudi related metadata. It points to the, as you may see, Hudi commit time, it points to the particular Parquet file, right? So, all right, cool. Now let me show you the next part, which is, okay, we did the bootstrapping action, meaning we are leveraging or using existing Parquet based files and we built just the metadata on the top of that. Now let's see how we can query this using Spark. Let me show you how easily you can query this data as well. So I just spun up a very quick Spark notebook on Athena. Right? You can spin one, right? And then here in the edit session, you can select Apache Hudi and it will automatically configure it and just click on save. So yeah, listen, see, I can now query this data, right? This is a bootstrapped, we were able to do bootstrapping using Apache Hudi, which basically uses your existing Parquet or base file, right? Now, as you can see, I am simply reading the data into Spark and then I'm doing a select, right? So I expect to see those columns printed on the console. As you can see, look at that, beautiful, flawless, right? So overall, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope this video was informative, and this way you can offload huge, massive tables from Snowflake into a transactional data lake in a much cost-effective and an efficient way. Thank you so much for watching the video, and if you have any questions, you may post them in the comment section below. And as usual, keep smiling, keep programming, and I'll see you in the next video.